Assalamu alaikum. You're listening to the Niqabi Diary series by The Pen, the sound of sisters raising their voices with the written word. I'm your host, Samar, and thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Samar from the Niqabi Diaries, and you're listening to By the Pen. This is our author's podcast, and today with us we have the Niqab girl. We've already talked to her previously for one of the episodes of the Niqabi Diaries, and she has a couple of books now that she's authored, actually. I've been wanting to talk to her for a long time about them. So, inshallah, Niqab girls, could you introduce yourself for the listeners and also tell us about your books, inshallah, the names of your books?
Okay, welcome, Salam. Thank you for this beautiful introduction. So basically, I am a woman from Europe, from Czech Republic actually, who is living currently in Egypt. That's my basic story, and I became Muslim when I was 17. Anyway, my job is to be writer right now, writer only about Egypt. I don't write about anything else, just about Egypt. And currently, I wrote a 3 book. And the first one was Don't Fall in Love with Egyptian Man. The second one is actually a cookbook called Dining Like a Pharaoh. And the third one, the current one, the new one, which will be published this February, it's called Egypt Loves You. And it's a novel about my own story.
MashaAllah, Mubarak. So I want to talk a little bit about the Don't Fall in Love with an Egyptian Man, because I was really interested in that. I was looking into things about Egypt when I was online one day on YouTube, and I came across your book and I sat down and listened to it because I like the way you actually have one of the ways you publish your book, which I've noticed is quite different from other authors that I've spoken to so far, is that you actually do like an audiobook version yourself and you publish it on your YouTube channel. I found that very interesting. So tell us about a little bit about Don't Fall in Love with the Egyptian Man and why you wrote it, because I think that's quite important, the reason why you wrote it.
Okay, it's actually a kind of long story, but I'll try to shorten it. Okay, the story is that I had my blog, okay, theniqabgirl.com, actually for a long time, like for 3 years, and I was publishing random stories about Egypt and Egyptian love and the stories how women fall in love to Egyptian men. And what happened in this time? Actually, I wasn't in Egypt. I traveled abroad for a while, like for 1 year, and I stopped the work. Actually, I didn't do it anymore. And then suddenly, one girl from Mexico, uh, she lived in Cairo in this time, I think, yes. She found my blog and she loved my article so much, so she started to translate it to Spanish language. But actually, she didn't inform me, and I found by luck on Facebook, and I get kind of angry that she didn't get my permission and she's stealing my articles and like that. So this way, we actually connected together. Then she apologized everything, like she told your work is really amazing and we should do something together, like more deep about the topic of Egyptian love. So I agreed, and we were thinking about it, what to do. And out of sudden, there was a 1 month where almost all the embassies in Egypt was warning women, like, please stop marrying Egyptian men. Like, we have so much cases of divorce and really big troubles. Okay, and they cannot solve it anymore that fast for them. They are not able to help them. So I was thinking, hey, this could be a good idea at this point. Like, we should warn the woman before they marry Egyptian men and before they divorce. So they should be aware of some points, because we found out that the love stories are repeating over and over, that the women are doing the same mistakes. So that was the point. So I thought, okay, give me 1 week. I will try to write something and we will publish it like an ebook. This is important to notice that I didn't mean it to write it as a book at all. I just wanted to write an ebook, easy ebook, just for my blog, for the purpose of my blog. So I did it. I actually wrote the whole idea just in 1 week. Like, I felt I have so much information inside of me, which I have to give outside to the world. So I was working from morning till night. I almost didn't sleep, didn't eat. I was just focusing only on the topic. And of course, so I finished it in 1 week and I sent it to my friend and she told, hey, it's really amazing. We have to
MashaAllah.
publish it right away.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
okay, but yeah, but to write something, of course, but after kind of like give it some shape and edit it and a little bit play with it before you publish it, it's kind of a lot of work, So
Hmm.
it took me like another, I don't know, 1 month, maybe two.
Okay.
Okay, and then I was waiting on my friend because in the same time she translated to Spanish language as well. So we
Yeah.
published in the same time for both languages.
Mashallah.
And then by luck, I found another woman asking me she wants to translate it to Polish language and to
Oh,
Arabic, so as well. So it's in four languages actually now.
Allah about it. Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, most people doesn't know it because they are interested about the English one.
Yeah,
Spanish
of course, of
sometimes,
course.
but the other language not that much.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I'm happy with the English version actually. It's the main point. So when I published it actually as an ebook only, so a few people asked me why it's not like a book. Why didn't you write it as a book? So I was thinking about it. Okay, maybe it's a good idea. So how we can publish it as a book? And then of course it came the idea Amazon that we can publish by ourselves their books, right? Like hard copy, I mean. So I tried it on Amazon, and in the same time after I spread it on Facebook, and it gets really viral. And the most viral it gets in Egypt, especially in Cairo and Alexandria.
SubhanAllah. I know because I remember like when I spoke to a couple of Egyptians and they were telling me, oh, I've heard of that girl, you shouldn't talk to her. She's, she's trying to make Egyptian men look bad. And I was just like, well, no, actually, if you read the book or listen to it on YouTube, then you can see that she's not doing that at all. She's literally doing the opposite, but she's just warning women who go on holiday and have these holiday
Mhm.
romances, which a lot of them are not genuine. Okay, when it comes to, you go on holiday and you marry somebody abroad, and this could be in any country, it's not just specifically Egypt, but like you said, it was happening a lot in Egypt till the extent that the government even had to step in, subhanallah, because of the
Mhm.
divorce rates.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's really
subhanallah.
complicated. It was really like hard time in this
Mm,
time. But early in my book, I have to say it helped through a lot of women. Even I know there are very bad comments about me and very good. We have both sides. But the people who give me the bad comments mostly didn't read my book. They just judge by the
exactly.
name. I
Yes,
read the
exactly.
name very hard. Yes, and I made it for the attention because I knew that if I put this name, so it will get everyone attention, and that's what I
Yes.
wanted to achieve because I wanted the woman to read it. Actually,
Hmm.
this was.
Absolutely, mashallah.
But yeah, I get, accused like I'm not actually European, that I'm Egyptian, I'm just playing on European to promote my book and
Wow,
get money. Yeah,
subhanallah.
and this actually very big point. Yeah, we sold a lot of books, but a lot of those books we even give for free, so it's
Hmm.
not about the money. And when we get the money, so we're able to get to the blog and to do online work as well. So actually,
Hmm.
I'm on zero. Not like I'm rich from it.
SubhanAllah. Yeah, because that's one of the things I've mentioned before. I noticed that you have it as an audiobook on your website, so on your
Yeah.
YouTube channel. So anybody can just go and listen to the book. You don't have to pay anything for it. Because I liked that as well, because for me it showed that you was genuinely trying to actually help people, because you could have had it that it was something that, yeah, it's only to, to be bought, or even part of the audiobook online, and then people would have to pay for the rest. But you've got the whole book on your YouTube channel, mashallah. And I sat down and
Yes.
listened to it, and I really enjoyed it. Alhamdulillah, Allah Mubarak.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm happy for it. I did it also audiobook because a lot of people prefer different way. Some love to
Mm,
listen books, some love to read a ebook,
of
and some
course.
prefer the copy book. So that's why I make it this three version, and anyone can choose. But it's beautiful thing that when I publish it on the YouTube, so in this time the sale of my book, actually like a copy book, hard book, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it increased so much. When I publish everything
Mm.
for free, I get more money from it. It's subhanallah.
Subhanallah, subhanallah, Allah Mubarak. It's amazing, isn't it? It shows that our
Yeah,
artists, it just comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah.
of
So
course, but
So
yeah,
let's talk a little bit about your other book, the cookbook that you've written, Dining Like a Pharaoh.
yeah, okay. That's kind of difficult for me because I'll tell you why. I work on this book literally 3 years. I
So,
swear, three
oh,
years, taking so much time, and I made it with actually one Egyptian man, which is our relative,
mhm,
and he helped me with it because in the cookbook are not only recipes about Egyptian dishes, but there are stories from where the recipe came
oh,
and the
subhanallah.
history and even my own stories how I found the recipes. It's really like even history book kind of. And the Egyptian relative, he helped me with it because we had to dig for the information. They wasn't available even on the internet. We had to search in all the book, Arabic book, so
Mm.
he was translating me and helped to write it at the end. So it was really difficult work for me, and I thought that when this book will publish, it will be even better than the previous one.
Mm-hmm.
But the surprise came; it didn't happen at all.
SubhanAllah.
That was yes, a big disappointment for me, to be honest. But some people bought the book as mostly as a hard copy
Mm-hmm.
when you have the pictures and everything. And I have very positive comments about it. They said it's amazing, but it's really for people who are interested about the Egyptian kitchen. Not all people like it that much.
Yeah, SubhanAllah. SubhanAllah. MashaAllah. Okay, so tell us now about the latest book, which is Egypt Loves You.
Yeah, Egypt loves you. Fine. So it's actually my own story. When I
Mhm.
first came to Egypt for the first time, so I describe it. How was the story with my husband? How we met? How we married? How I even saw the Egypt for the first time? Because when I came here for the first time, I saw everything with different eyes.
Mm.
A lot of things was funny for me, to be honest. And so I just and the Egypt was different as well because it was time in demonstration in this time,
Yeah.
and it was different now so much really. So everything is described there, but it's really, I believe it's beautiful book, beautiful story. I have a beautiful story, I believe. So I actually wrote it because many of my followers asked me that if I'm advising about love, so
Mm.
they want to know my. So I thought, okay, I will write it. I will show you what my story is.
Okay,
That's
mashallah.
basically.
Mashallah, mashallah. So you've written 3 books now, Alhamdulillah Barak. So did
Yeah.
you ever think that you would become an author? Is it something that you wanted to be as a child, you know?
Okay, thank you for this question. No, I didn't think it because look, the story is about my family because in my family we have a lot of famous writer. Okay, but I
Oh,
never wanted to be a writer.
okay.
I always telling that I want to be Egyptologist.
Mhm.
That's I always tell this. But in a high school, I was writing a poems before Islam, even. Okay, it's an important point. And my teacher in the high school told me, "Hey, you have a talent. You should try this way. You should be a writer one day." I told him, "No, I don't want to be a writer." And somehow, when I grew up, so always I have a lot of opportunities to be a writer, but I never go for it. I didn't want it because I don't want to be a writer. My family, it's enough. I don't want to go the same as my family. But you see, if it's your fate, you simply cannot escape.
Yeah, subhanallah. Subhanallah. Mashallah. So who is your book aimed at then, like your latest book?
All my book I believe are for women,
Mm-hmm.
women who love Egypt, women who are interested about Egypt.
Okay.
That's how.
Mashallah, mashallah. So, and what would you say has been the biggest challenge for you personally writing this latest book that you've written?
My biggest challenge, maybe my own fear for publishing very personal information. Because some things happened in the book and in the life and situations which cannot be published and say by to the world so much because you can hurt even other people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's important to know that I wrote it the way how I felt it and how I saw it. For sure, if you ask the other person, so he will see a different way, you know. So it was my challenge to don't be injustice to anyone, to write it like in a good shape to everyone.
Yeah, subhanallah, alhamdulillah. I can imagine it must be quite that must be quite challenging because you're sharing your personal story, and
Hmm.
it's another
Yes.
level of putting yourself out there, isn't it? Subhanallah.
Yeah, of course, when you write a book, it's like you live it once again.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
feel all the emotion, all the happiness, all the sadness. Because if you didn't feel it, so it will not be a good book, to be honest.
Yeah, of course, subhanallah. So who would you say have been your biggest supporters when you're writing? Who are your biggest supporters?
Okay, my biggest supporters are actually my two best friends. Both are from and both are living here in Egypt. One is actually Amira from Cairo. She has even her YouTube channel as well. And the second is Jade from Sharm el Sheikh. And these are two people. They are so amazing, really, because Amira is my editor. Actually, she's
Mm-hmm.
American, so she edited my book to be really and in the English really good,
Mm-hmm.
And Jade, she's actually my emotional supporter. Like when I, for example, felt I'm stuck with the book, I cannot finish it, so I always go for her and complain to her, hey, I cannot do it. She told me, no worry, you will do it, and she puts me to the calmness. So these are two people are really so important for me in my life.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, yes.
Yeah, mashallah, it's definitely you definitely need somebody like that. And it's important, and it's beneficial that she happens to be your editor as well. So it's good she keeps pushing you because English obviously isn't your first language, is it?
No, it's not my first language, of course. It's my second language. Like
Yeah.
I studied in the school, I mean. And
Yeah.
of course, to be honest, after I became pregnant and give a birth, my mind became kind of silly. I can't remember all the words so well anymore. So
SubhanAllah.
yes, I'm happy for her that she helped me with it, and it's good that she's my best friend and my editor. So, for example, something she didn't understand in the book, so she know how I mean it. Like
Mm-hmm.
she didn't even have to discuss it that much. She make it automatically. She know me. That's very good as well.
Alhamdulillah. So, what would you say, like, what would you advise to other sisters who are in, well, maybe in a similar situation, like yourself? Maybe English isn't their first language, and even if they wanted to write a book in their own language, like, what advice would you give to them to encourage them to actually go ahead and just write their first book?
Yeah. It's not about the language itself, because I learned in high school actually about my professor who teach me English. She
Mm-hmm.
always told me, if you don't know the exact words how you say it, you have to say different way, the way how you know it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about to be master in English or any other language. Simply, if you have something to say and share to the world, so write it the way how you can do it your best,
Mm-hmm.
and there always will be someone who will help you.
Mm-hmm.
The life always brings you to people. For example, to my best friend Amina, I didn't know her when I wrote the first book. I published the book, okay, not in not grammatically correct English, to be honest,
Yeah.
but from this point, I met this person. I met Amira because she get interested about the book,
Mm-hmm.
and she told me, okay, I read it. It's not a good English. I can help you with it, and then we go on. So
Alhamdulillah.
if a person is just waiting till he will be perfect, it's not a good way. Simply, if you have something, do it. Don't wait. This will be my advice.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair, sis. That was really great speaking to you, and may Allah put barakah in your work, what you're doing, trying to share the message of Egypt, mashallah, because you really are very passionate about Egypt. I don't know anybody who's been as passionate about Egypt as you have.
Yes.
Allahumma barik. So, alhamdulillah. I think it's interesting. You do share a lot of information on your YouTube channel, especially about Egypt. So, if anybody is interested, then it's definitely one of the places to go, at least for me, anyways. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, thank you so much, sister. And don't worry, I will still continue my journey, and I will write, inshallah, much more book about Egypt and provide more information.
Alhamdulillah, inshallah. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.